All right, on 20 it says Pythagorean theorem of baseball is a formula for approximating a team's ratio of wins to games played. So it says let R be the number of runs the team scores during a season, A is the number of runs allowed to opponents, W is the number of wins, and T will be the total number of games played. Then here's the formula. So I have wins over total games played, runs scored or squared over runs scored plus runs allowed squared. So it says approximate the team's win ratio of games played. So solve for W. Even though it's not equal to it, because it's really an approximation, okay? It's really just throughout the year. At any point, you can check on the Royals and you can find out how bad they really are by seeing how many runs they've scored and seeing how many runs they've given up and see are they close to about that many wins, okay, at however many into the season they are. So if I want to figure wins, what's the only thing that I have to do to solve for W here? Multiply it by T, right? So I'm essentially going to take this side and this side, and I'm going to multiply it by T. So as far as my formula is concerned, I'm just going to make it an equal sign and just kind of go from there. I can multiply those two together. They're both on top. They're both fractions, essentially. So really I have T times R squared over R squared plus A squared. That's the easy part, right? Okay, and it's not that B is that difficult. It's just that you're going to have really big numbers, okay? And it's really a matter of more whenever you put it in the calculator as far as not trying to square 965, because that's going to be a really, really big number, okay? It's really just a matter of putting it into your calculator all at once, okay? So 1998 New York Yankees. I think it's probably now my son's favorite team as he's reading a book about Derek Jeter. Probably one of the best baseball teams that ever played because they were really, really good. 965 runs, allowed 665. How many of 162 games would you estimate the team won? So I'm just going to put it in. I'm going to try to figure out how many wins they have. So what's going to go in for T of my formula here? 162. Okay. So I'm going to have 162 times what goes in for R squared? 965. And then on the bottom, 965 squared. Yeah, 656 squared. Now, of that, here's what with problems like this, you don't want to put in 965 squared. Okay? Or I wouldn't anyway. There we go. Because if I put in 965 squared, okay, that's going to be a really big number, but then if I multiply that with 162, if I go times 162, it may or may not fit. Most likely it still does. Okay? But whenever you're dealing with such large numbers, I would try to stay away from something like that. And what I would probably do is almost set it up and make it into like a parenthesis and go 162 times 965 squared. Close it. So that's the top, right? It's top side of my fraction. What's the bottom side of my fraction?
965 squared plus 656
Yeah.
squared.
So I'm going to go 965 squared plus 656.
Yep.
And basically have it all right there. Okay? For me, I'm okay. You don't have to tell me that 965 squared is 931,225. Okay? I can figure that out by typing it in. If you have essentially this and you have everything in its place, for me, if you just get the answer from there, I'm okay with that. Okay? I don't know what you've had before. If you've had like where you have to see every single step, you have to see every single step. Okay? Because some of these, you don't want to write out a number that looks like that. Okay? Where you're at 150 million. That's crazy. Okay? I don't need to know that. We can figure out where you made a mistake if you made a mistake as far as your value is concerned. So 110 wins, 111 wins is what you would probably do, or what you would say. I think that's pretty close. I want to say they were probably around like 100. I don't know if they were 109 or 111 or 112, but they had a lot. Okay, they were really, really good.